Well, hello there, citizens of the Reject Nation. John and Greg are back at it because we're going to do another trailer react-thon. We got 3 trailers to cover. You can skip around whichever one you like or watch the whole thing. That's better for us. We're going to start off with The Cat in the Hat. Then we're going to do Project Hail Mary, and we're going to end it off with Edgar Wright, Glen Powell's The Running Man. Be sure to leave a like on this video. And, hey, let's just swing into action, people. Let's find out what's going on. Cool.
Wow. Okay.
Is that the cell shading type of animation?
A new world. Cat Town.
Getting the vibe that you probably shouldn't be opening this.
What makes you say that?
That. You know,
Interesting Bill Hader
That's
voice.
just a suggestion.
Stop. Stop it. No. Don't.
Bill's Looney Tunesy.
Wow.
Gotta have the music.
Welcome back
Trunk
to the
shot.
Institute for the Institution of Imagination and Inspiration, LLC.
Oh, damn. Totally different animation.
Hi, bug in a mug. Yak with a pack.
So many rhymes.
Ron.
Giraffes on his last mission. Actually, it was 5.
The gloves.
Today is going to be the best day ever.
We sure about that?
If you say so, Bill Hader.
Go to the montage.
Let's light it up.
Cat?
Cat.
Those are delightful.
Cat in the Hat. You have gone too far.
Did you say toot fart?
I did not. I said too far.
Toot fart?
Too far.
I heard toot fart again.
Toot fart. Yep.
There we go.
So, I'm just going to leave some things here.
Whoa.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Liking Bill Hader's voice.
Oh. Thing 1. Where's thing 2? There we go. Oh, thing 3. Whoa.
Whoa, a lot of things.
All the things.
Now, between the two of us, one's definitely more of a Dr. Seuss fan. That's for sure.
Yes, you are.
I did not really. Yeah, it's me. I'm sure you guys picked up on our vibes.
Yes.
And one of us is going to be me. I'm a green eggs and ham son of a bitch.
Yep.
You know?
Hey, there you go. You got one.
Horton here's a who.
That's right. He does.
I definitely know there was a movie. No, I don't. I
You've
don't
been
even.
enlightened by the
I
Lorax.
legit don't even know what the cat in that stuff. Like I know I read the cat in that story when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't think it's this.
I feel like we're actually probably in a similar boat with Cat in the Hat specifically, because I would have read this as a kid, but like it's not one of the Seuss's I read the most.
It's like the most popular one.
It's the most recognizable in a lot of ways.
Did not see the Mike Myers one. I do
But
want to cover that.
I've heard it's legendarily special.
There's a following. The
There
people
is.
have really come around. Like everyone's hated, but people have really come around on that and really love it.
It's a cult classic.
Kind of like the
now.
Scooby-Doo movies, you know. So I actually wouldn't mind checking it out. But this has to work beyond just those who grew up on Cat in the Hat, because I don't know if kids today still grow up on Dr. Seuss. I don't know if kids today still are read Cat in the Hat like as prominently as it was for us. But you know, like this is about taking in the trailer on its own without any of that preconceived stuff, even though they do kind of want to play on that. But John, what are your first thoughts?
This, I'm of two minds. This, in one breath, looks very fun and bright and colorful and whatnot. And I like Bill Hader a lot, and I like his comedic presence of voice anyway here. This, as a trailer, kind of looks like not my nightmare, but like the thing that you imagine when you're like, oh, they're gonna make a big animated movie version of this Dr. Seuss book, and it's gonna be real loud and noisy, and it's gonna have this like weirdly epic tone for some reason, and also a bunch of hijinks and stuff. like this could be very fun. I could also see how this would be very annoying. And I'm not sure which one it'll be. The animation looks all right. It definitely has a thing to me where it looks like it can't decide whether it wants to be 3D or 2D.
Well, I think they have two distinct animations. They have the one where they're in the cat's world, but then when the cat comes into the real world or whatever, the animation is very different. I think there's intentionally two different animations.
Yes, and at least one of them looks a bit iffy to me, or doesn't look like it's a feature movie theater grade animation.
No, the one in the cat world looks like I'm not a big fan of cell shading animation. It looks like more like that.
It looks more like.
But
Disney
it looks
Plus.
like, the most of the story is not taking place in that world.
That's true. That's true. I just if you're in Cat World and it's trying to look a bit more like the drawings and stuff like that, it's not quite hitting that for me. But this could be really fun. I don't know. Like this is the kind of movie that could also cut a trailer that is obviously trying to entice kids with a lot of toot fart and a lot of madness, which is kind of a funny bit. It could easily turn into a movie that is very fun and wild and Looney Tunes-esque that just cuts a shrill trailer or something like that. But I don't know. What do you think? You seemed a bit more enthralled, perhaps.
Enthralled? I would not call that. I think that Warner Brothers does a pretty good job lately when it comes to their family films or things of IP. I feel like they've been actually doing a pretty good job of that. And I didn't see Minecraft movie. That seemed to satisfy people. And this, for their animation department, I don't really think of too many Warner Brothers animation stuff outside of how much they love Looney Tunes, clearly. It's outside of that. I feel like for the kids movie, this looks enjoyable. I remember watching the Cat in the Hat trailer for the Mike Myers one and being like, this looks really annoying. And I never saw it. I did not get that much of a response, but I also don't really have much of a response at all. It looks fine. This is the kind of thing where I will only watch it if I feel compelled to cover it, or if we're getting a big demand to cover it.
Yeah.
But if we didn't run a YouTube channel, I'd be like, I don't really want to see this movie, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not the target market here, and I feel like the target market will be more than satisfied.
That's my hope. It has a kind of hello fellow children energy.
A little bit. But I like Bill Hader a lot too. I thought his voice fit just fine. I've heard divisive reactions on social media, but I thought his voice fit fine. And I like the idea of two different animation styles. But is this gonna reel me in to reread that book that'll take me less than 5 minutes to read? Sure, I'll read it.
Get really
less than 5 minutes.
Really brush up on the lore.
Super short book.
Yeah, the Hat universe. Yeah, before the franchise launches.
But that's our thoughts. Very lukewarm. No inspired emotional response from us on our end. Great way to kick off a trailer react video. Let's move on to Project Hail Mary, and you tell us in the comments what you thought about this trailer. Oh my God, the
Please
beard.
state your name.
Ryland Grace. I just woke up from a coma.
Ryland Grace, Ryan Gosling.
RG. From my apartment. And I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. With the rest of us.
Oh, shit.
What? What is
The
this?
sun is dying.
Sunshine sequel.
You're the only scientist who might know what this is.
You're not an
I'm
astronaut.
just a teacher at Grover Cleveland Middle.
He's his guy who's obsessed with papyrus character.
I need you to come with us.
No! Why that font?
The sun is not the only star dying. Every star was infected by its neighbor, except one.
Why?
We don't know.
Which is why we built a ship to go there and find out.
It's 11.9 light years away. The astronauts die in space.
It's what you Americans would call a long shot.
Hail Mary. I get it.
Hail
We're
the
just gonna
title.
sign up for
Yeah,
this.
now too.
If we do nothing,
Oof.
everything on this planet will go extinct.
It's all gonna explode?
You'll find a solution.
So it's like an interstellar mission.
You are my solution.
Oh.
I put the not an astronaut. I've never done anything. I've never done a space. I can't even moonwalk.
You'll learn. You'll learn, my guy.
This is an app song.
Wow, the beard. One take beard shaving montage. Oh, author of The Martian. Okay.
I understand the stakes. I do. My place is in the classroom.
I like his
Well, we're just
character set up a
counting on you.
lot.
This might be
crazy
very
that
hard
they're
for you
doing
to
this.
understand. But some people are not good at things.
You know who you are. You're gonna do great.
I conquered Zero G in 5 hours.
He's gonna grow some potatoes with his poop.
Object approaching.
Oh, in
Oh
order
my
set it is
God.
and how solo it is. Wow.
Dang. Feel like we're into too much territory. What? Huh?
New life.
So I met an alien. He's kind of growing on me. At least he's not growing in me, you know, which was a concern for a little while.
What?
I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky. Thumbs up. Nope, that's thumbs
Weird.
down. We do the thumbs up. It's close enough.
Drew Goddard.
Drew
Oh, that's right. I
Goddard.
forgot
All right.
about that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
God dang.
I remember freaking out learning about this when we did the podcast of the CinemaCon announcements, and I had the idea of like Phil Lord, Chris Miller, forgot Drew Goddard wrote it, and Ryan Gosling. I don't even need a trailer. I'm there.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah.
So now to get a trailer, I'm even more excited.
I'm still there.
This looks this looks wild and weird, and I like how it starts off ensemble but will turn into solo. You know, kind of an inverse of a lot of different structures with cinema. But it also feels like an experimental gamble, and it's like a cool, like nerdy role for Ryan Gosling, and the guy is like apprehensive to, you know, the idea of like someone whose job it is to know so much about the larger parts of the universe, but is not an adventurer though,
Yeah.
and it has no real interest and prefers to stay contained, but is now being thrusted in. I like the character side. Everything about this trailer is just working for me. The one aspect that's kind of missing is you know, there's like kind of a signature voice to the way Phil Lord and Chris Miller like direct and do stuff. I didn't really get like signature hints of how they do stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but they're going for something with a little more gravitas, a little more serious and epic, and maybe it'll be there like because they do a job of handling drama and humor and weirdness. So like this is the territory I know they can play in, but there was nothing about the direction of how it was done that was like, wow, Phil Lord, Chris Miller back at it again. You know?
Yeah. I wouldn't have known if you didn't tell me.
There's that, or like even got a hint of it of like, oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
But also that could also on the inverse be very exciting because that means they're really going to do something different. And if it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they always want to do something different. Now I just hope that they're not, you know, doing how other directors would do it, but really doing it in their own voice. That little monologue, minute and a half there. John, your thoughts?
All good. It's all good. Yeah, I appreciate that there is at least some level of like quirk. I feel like Phil Lord and Chris Miller have an interesting vibe because their stuff can get very like touching and dramatic when it wants to, but also I feel like they always want to have one foot in the quirky, fun world. And yeah, I'm excited to see them stretch their legs, take on a bit of a different tone, and what a pedigree too. Because you know, thinking about The Martian and being that this is, I believe, does it say adapted from a book by the same author and then adapted by Drew Goddard, who adapted The Martian? Like, I'm expecting something based off of that is probably very scientific, like, you know, a science fiction movie with the science part highlighted, where it's like, yeah, we really thought this out, and even if there will be debate on whether or not it's plausible, it'll at least present you something that's believable in the movies world. And yeah, I'm excited for this. I think the most exciting thing is the blend of talents on display. I am a little torn on being shown the alien stuff toward the end of the trailer because, again, in cynical, you know, we've seen a million trailers mind, you're like, I feel like we're in Act 3 territory with some of that stuff. But, you know, the prospect...
That felt more midpoint to me.
Good. Then there we go. Well, I can see that too. Not necessarily introducing that maybe at the midpoint. I would have, suffice it to say, I would have been thrilled never to know and then discover that because I was already like hooked by the trailer before they added that. And so, you know, just like to have it added in a trailer is a little different than being half hour, 40 minutes into a movie and then, you know, being asked to accept this. But Ryan Gosling looks really appealing. The supporting cast looks really appealing. The blend of futurism but also grounded Earth stuff looks pretty cool. And yeah, you mentioned Interstellar. It made me think of that, along with Sunshine and some other things. And yeah, it's basically their game to lose in terms of just they got to make it smart but appealing and charming, and possibly a little lonely, a little cabin fevery. Not the movie Cabin Fever, but just like any one person trapped in space gets a little cabin fever. This looks like a lot of stuff, and I'm fascinated to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, it's one of the few trailers, too, these days where they use a popular song that is very fitting for the tone, and the lyrics are very fitting for the genre and the plot at hand.
Absolutely.
I loved it. I loved it, and I'm biased. I loved it before I saw anything because of just who's involved.
Sure.
Again, didn't need to see the trailer.
Hard not to be invested.
If you're a film lover of these, especially if you're a big fan of any of these guys, I'm like, this is like a dream assembly for me. So yeah,
sure.
I am there opening night, undoubtedly. But what do you guys think of the trailer? Did you love it? Your thoughts down below, por favor.
Hey.
Let's move on to the last one. Really excited for this since I have reacted to the Cornetto trilogy.
Finally.
The Running Man.
Let's go.
The Running Man. Coy and Andrew did a reaction to the Schwarzenegger one.
I did.
But this is the adaptation of the book from Stephen King. Let's go.
Ben Richards, 35. Married, one child. In medical crisis.
Medical
We
crisis.
need money for a doctor now.
Ben, watch yourself.
Oh, it's her.
Employment
Before you wreck
status.
yourself.
Blacklisted.
Whoa.
But there's still a way out for you.
He's got a temper.
Blacklisted.
It's the biggest show in the country.
That's Josh Brolin's voice?
Sounds like.
One life is our birthright.
Colman
Domingo. Damn, let's go.
Free.
Set it free.
Welcome to the Running Man.
Oh, so happy he's in this.
People on these games never come back.
I'm not trying to get myself killed, so kiss my ass twice.
Right there is why you can win this game.
It was Brolin.
The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. The entire nation hunting you down.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
You'll get your family out of Slumside for good.
Oh, my God. Look at the scale they're letting him work
I'm
with.
gonna come back here and burn this building down. I promise. That's the spirit.
Brolin's got those
This
Hunger
is
Games
America,
teeth.
goddammit.
This is a-
Put up with no bullshit.
Oh
Look
my
how
God.
intense Glen Powell looks in this.
Hunt.
How intense Glen Powell looks and how fun Colman Domingo looks. Hot dog. Hey,
William H.
William
Macy.
H. Damn.
Woo! Oh, my God. It's
Filming me.
Have you ever wondered if this
Michael Cera.
Scott Pilgrim, baby.
Oh, neato.
Moving up too fast.
Wow. Wow, and a towel. Let's go.
Hey, buddy. You're on Freebie.
Freebie.
Oh. Amazing tracking shot coming in.
Nice. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh,
shit.
damn.
Oh, shit.
Running. Awesome.
I got a grenade.
Back at you.
Back at you. Hot potato.
I'm still here, you shit eaters.
That looks amazing.
That looks like a blast.
Hey, big boys.
Let's go, cool Michael Cera.
Are you crazy?
Yay.
Awesome. Clever.
Nice, man.
They
Nice.
co-wrote it, baby. Oh, wow. That was so
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
I loved that trailer. John, thoughts, please.
That was pretty sick. I've only ever really caught glimpses of the OG movie. I have the basic idea of what the novella is. So this will be a pretty fresh experience for me. And this looked like a blast. This looked very fun. I'm curious to see the artistic combination of, you got a strong source material POV from Stephen King, and then you have Edgar Wright with a very strong visual style. This didn't present a ton of his isms in the trailer, his very, very signature isms, but it did have a lot of his beautiful camera work and these interesting pullbacks and tracks, and it looks like it has. I wasn't really sure even what to expect out of the tone, and this looks both fun, but also very badass and something that I could easily have seen Arnold starring in. But now with Glen Powell, obviously a bit of a different kind of charisma. You're sort of charming, all-American kind of guy. And for being the I haven't seen Glen Powell in much stuff, and I haven't seen, I don't think, anything that he's been the lead of. So, to see his vibe and energy here was very fun. And, to see him as a character who, obviously will have some kind of heft to his motivation and backstory, but who's also clearly, embracing the wildness of the situation. This looks super duper fun. How are you feeling?
Glen Powell, I have always enjoyed and found charming. And it wasn't until I watched Hitman where I realized, I like him in Twisters. He's fun. I like him. I kind of remember him talking about Maverick. The one he did with Sydney Sweeney that I reacted to here, a lot of fun too. Hitman, though, I was like, I get it now. He is incredible in that film. It's on Netflix. Him and Adria Arjona. She's great in it too.
Oh, hey.
Watch that movie if you're like, I don't really know the hype around Glen Powell. Incredible performance. And so, yeah, it's a very different association now when I hear Glen Powell's in a movie. I'm like, sweet, amazing actor, Glen Powell. Yeah. And, The Running Man, I don't know the difference between, I saw the movie a couple times when the Schwarzenegger one growing up. I remember some of the main plot points of it, but it's Schwarzenegger, buff dude in control. He's going to handle the day. This feels more like John McClane in The Running Man. This is a guy who is sweaty, grimy, getting injured, improvising in over his head. And I like how it seems like he's becoming more madcap and losing his sanity as this trailer. It looks like there's going to be an escalation in depravity of one's own mind beyond physicality that I loved here. And it seemed the energy and whimsy of Edgar Wright just matches that so well. And the wackiness of Edgar Wright matches the sci-fi world as well. I love how world building this is. So much of this, I couldn't even tell, is this still in the game? Or is this after a game, before a game? It's the way how a lot of it was being shot. And because it looks like you're going into the real world and interacting with civilians, which I don't recall if that's what The Running Man is. Because at the end of the day, that movie that came out, I'm sure was not the most faithful of adaptations. At a time like that, they were not known to do one-to-one adaptations. I'm sure they did it to make it fit for Arnold and all these things, and to be more something that could be more of a box office hit. Whereas this feels experimental, crazy, and the thing I was not expecting from this trailer, beyond the crazy ensemble surrounded by the brilliant actors like Josh Brolin, Colman Domingo, the excitement of Michael Cera after working with him on Scott Pilgrim. I did not expect to be I'm so in for Glen Powell's performance. Not me being here to go, if you guys have seen Hitman, he's great, so I'm sure he'll do a great job. I was like, this sold me so much. I can't wait to see his performance in this because he looks awesome.
He looks really and I love a good descent into madness movie or mild-mannered guy is forced into a situation that requires you to become a little unhinged, to sort of descent into madness. And just the production values look really lovely and really cool and future cyberpunkish. I could see this becoming a reality in not too long of a time.
1,000%, man. I thought this was an amazing trailer.
I can't wait to watch the trailer again.
I wish we started off with this.
I know.
Because damn, I mean, it's you can't really win, right? You start off on a high, then it goes a little bit lower, or end on the high. We went low, much higher.
Went
low, high.
Highest,
super high.
We had a steady arc upward. What is it they say? Open with your second best joke, end on your best joke.
Well, we should have started with Project Hail Mary.
Then we should have started Project Hail Mary.
But that was amazing. I cannot wait to watch that. That looks so good. I'm conflicted. It is one of those trailers that makes me go, I would love to see this in the theaters, but this also looks like this would be a blast to do a reaction. This looks like it would be a really great reaction.
Yeah, defo.
And it's one that I feel like I would love to share, assuming the movie's good. It would suck if the movie's bad. I'm like, oh man, what a choose to react.
I have really high hopes for this.
Anyway, guys, those are our thoughts for these trailers. What was your favorite trailer out of the three? Are you just as excited for The Running Man as we are right now? Leave your thoughts down below. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys soon, Reject Nation.